Hello and welcome to World Talks, here with me, Anna Kalczyńska. France finds itself once again at a political crossroads, just days after the unexpected resignation of Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu. The country is grappling with uncertainty and deepening institutional crisis. On Monday evening, Emmanuel Macron tasked the outgoing Prime Minister Lecornu with leading final negotiations aimed at finding an agreement that would enable the formation of a new government. Is it even possible? Joining us now from Paris is Pascal Drouhaud, Associate Researcher, Institut Choiseul, to talk about the chances of reaching an agreement and possible scenarios that could arise if the talks break down. Hello and good evening, and thank you for joining us here on TVP World.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure.
The pleasure is ours. So let me begin by a quote. One must always put one's country before one's party. One must know how to listen to one's members, but always think of the French. This is the quote alone that would be enough to understand what actually made Sébastien Lecornu quit after only 26 days in office. But in your understanding, what actually happened?
Well, in fact, France is facing an unprecedented political crisis because since last year, since the dissolution of the parliament, France has no majority at the Congress. And in our constitution, in our republic, you must have a majority or relative majority because the government nominated by the president, the government is responsible to the National Assembly. So if you are prime minister, but you don't have any majority at the parliament, you are very weak. And so we are living now inside the constitution of the Fifth Republic since 1958, when General de Gaulle came back and established a new constitution with a strong presidential power. We are living in that constitution, but with the rule of the Fourth Republic, 1946-1958, when during 12 years, France had 18th government. So it is impossible, I think, in that condition today to have a stable government and now to nominate a government because the parliament is absolutely fragmented between different forces with different vision of the society, of the country, of the world. And we are living a moment of rupture, a moment unprecedented in that constitution since 1958.
All right, but let us understand. This is something I don't get. Sébastien Lecornu was very close to reaching an agreement and to forming the government. The negotiations were ongoing, and in this quote that I just mentioned, he's blaming the political leaders' ambitions. So who is to blame for the whole situation?
Well, I think that the biggest mistake has been the dissolution last year in 2024. This dissolution avoid a new parliament, but a fragmented, as I said, parliament. So the dissolution was an error. And so obviously, as you said, the last Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, was close to the president. But if you don't have any majority, if you can't speak with the largest number of political party represented at the National Assembly, you are very weak. It doesn't matter you are close or not to the president. Today, the most important is to have a majority at the Congress, and it is impossible. So I think that now Emmanuel Macron, the president, asked Lecornu during those 2 days until tomorrow to think about the type of new platform, a new basis of government, and if it is possible to do it. Right. We will know tomorrow, Wednesday, if it is possible. If it is not, the presidency said that the president will decide what to do. And
exactly.
what to do could be to dissolve.
Exactly. So should Lecornu fail, not succeed, I understand that Macron will take responsibility. According to sources close to the presidential office, it could be snap elections. So again, a dissolution. Yes. The first one was also part of the Macron's big gambit. What happens if the far right wins it again?
Well, today in France, it is politically a strong nervosity. So if the president has to dissolve once again, we can expect now strongest representation of the National Party of Marine Le Pen and the left party and leftist party of Jean-Luc Mélenchon. We are living, in fact, right now, the end of the center, political center in France, close to Emmanuel Macron. We are living the end of the period of Emmanuel Macron. Emmanuel Macron won in 2017. He did a first mandate. He has been re-elected in 2022, but the dissolution of last year ended with the link with the country, and now we are facing this fragmentation, the political fragmentation, but the political fragmentation means also this fragmentation in France at the end of the two presidency of Emmanuel Macron. That's all.
Well, the presidency of Emmanuel Macron ends in 2027. That gives us more of 2 years, right? So many are those who call for Macron to step down, including the contender to the presidency, Edouard Philippe, the latest ally to break ranks with the French president. So what can happen? Do you foresee precipitated presidential elections as well?
Yes, yeah. Well, it can happen. I think that for the moment, Emmanuel Macron will try, or we'll see tomorrow night, will try to, I think he will dissolve the parliament. He can nominate anyone and other personality, but as I said, if you don't have any majority, you will lose some weeks trying to have a government, and it would be for a short period. So I think that today the dissolution will come in France. And then the next step, definitely, as you said, that won't be the solution. Perhaps we will have a new majority, I think, coming from right parties, from allied of national reunification of Marine Le Pen, former members of the Republicans. It is an option, but what will happen? They will prepare the presidential election in 2027. Now, if the instability is going on again, yes, Emmanuel Macron will have to think about resignation. The election will take part into 1 year and a half in May 2027, but it won't be the first time a president has resigned in France. Charles de Gaulle, in 1969, lose a referendum about a reform of the Senate. He lost, and so he resigned immediately. And he was the founder of the Fifth Republic. So it is possible.
Well, so many talented and charismatic politicians in France, and yet they cannot somehow reach a consensus over one fundamental matter, which is the budget, right? Don't you think that it should be also, you know, sort of a an evidence for the voters as well? After the far-right leaders Marine Le Pen and Jordan Bardella just rejected Prime Minister Lecornu's invitation to those last chance talks, that also tells something.
Well, the budget is the key of the political problem today in France for the unity of the country, the project of industrialism, new industry, but also because the public deficit is very strong. So that's the key for the future, for the unity of the country, as I said, for France inside Europe and France abroad. That the key. The difficulty of the budget in France explained the demonstration during those last weeks, strong demonstration in France. Today, this debate is a key of the political crisis. So, in fact, it is a tough and a hard, tough political path and a hard difficulty today for France to face on.
Exactly. Well, a weakened France is a weakened Europe, so we keep our fingers crossed for this crisis to be settled as soon as possible. Thank you so much, Pascal Drouhaud, Associate Researcher at Institut Choiseul, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you once again. And thank you for watching World Talks. Please stay tuned to TVP World.